In most recent news, the boys in Bullet for My Valentine have dropped out of their co-headline tour with Trivium, the Poisoned Ascendancy tour. Now, at the time of this recording, Bullet for My Valentine haven't released any form of statement to back up these claims or to figure out their side of the story. However, the boys in Trivium have. Last night, just before I went to bed, I saw a post very quickly online saying that Bullet had dropped out of their tour, and I couldn't find any much about it. I saw Trivium say that Bullet had dropped out with a brand new poster saying the Poisoned Ascendancy farewell tour. Didn't see too much about it. Had a quick look on, both bands' social medias, and I couldn't find any indicators as to Bullet leaving. However, when I woke up this morning, I found something about Bullet leaving. Bullet for My Valentine and Matt Tuck, at the time of this recording, haven't released any statement as to why they won't be continuing on with this tour. At the moment, we've only got a one-sided story, but I just wanted to talk about it. So the Poisoned Ascendancy tour started at January 2025 this year. I myself went to it with a friend of mine. We went to go and see it in Birmingham, and it was a really good show. We had a really nice time seeing Trivium play their set first, and then Bullet afterwards. It was a really nice time for us to relive our younger years, being into these thrash bands that were just really shaping us as teenagers. And the last time I saw Bullet before that was Temper Temper, just after that released. And just personally, I haven't really liked any of their stuff since, but that's my personal thoughts. It was also my first time seeing Trivium, and I gotta say, they put on a great show. And out of all the videos that I've seen, because let's be honest, Matt Heafy posts so much online. He is a content creator as much as he is a professional musician. Moving forward with the article that I found this morning, I'm reading it directly off of Loudwire, which you can go and look at yourself. The article reads, Matt Tuck didn't want to do it. Trivium blamed Bullet for My Valentine for ending co-headlining tour early. Bullet for My Valentine have apparently pulled out of additional legs of their Poisoned Ascendancy tour with Trivium, and Trivium bassist Paolo has put the blame on BFMV frontman Matt Tuck. Both bands are nearing the end of their North American leg of their co-headlining tour, which is celebrating the joint 20th anniversaries of Bullet for My Valentine's debut album The Poison and Trivium's sophomore album Ascendancy. Initially, the tour was projected to run through the end of 2025 and hit several other continents, including South America and Australia. Those plans now seem to have been scrapped. Trivium shared an edited flyer on their social media that said the Poison Ascendancy farewell tour, and earlier in the week, Gregoletto, Trivium's bassist, said the joint trek would not be continuing to South America and Australia because Tuck no longer wanted to participate. I've seen the clip from the live stream myself, and to be honest, there's not much else to say about it, really. Paolo had mentioned in the live stream that there are only 4 dates left in the entire tour, and to drop out so close to the end seems a little bit weird to me personally, and especially to not say anything online so close to dropping out. It just doesn't sit right with me personally. In a direct quote from the live stream, Paolo was noted saying, Matt Tuck didn't want to do it. After all we had planned, after stuff was already in the works, I think it would have been amazing. I think The Poison is a great album. I think the two records pair really well together, and I think it would have been nice to give everyone around the world a chance to see the two together. Despite the end of the joint trek, Trivium will be continuing touring with different bands, and they'll have a lot of special surprises because they'll have more time to do stuff. Now, if you really want to have a look at this video, it is posted on Reddit and it is in the Loudwire article. Now, the drama, however, doesn't end there. A couple of people didn't like the way that Paolo handled the situation and had commented on the live stream saying that it was unprofessional and they should have handled it behind closed doors and, etc, etc. However, on the backhand of that, Trivium themselves responded with, he's the sole decision maker of the band and has no respect for us or our crew, referring to Matt Tuck. And that's about the end of the whole article right now. My personal thoughts on this whole situation, I can see Matt Tuck doing this. As a young teenager, Bullet for My Valentine were one of the breakout bands that got me into metal and got me into the heavier scene of music, and just everything that they were doing from The Poison, Scream and Fire, Fever, and into Temper Temper, I absolutely loved. Temper Temper was going downhill a little bit, it didn't have as much of the drive as I liked in the previous albums, but I still liked them as a band. And following through time, my love for Bullet for Valentine just went away as I didn't really gel with the music as it went further. However, I've been a big fan of all founding 4 members, and I respected everyone's decisions in life to go, and do this thing and do that thing, and follow personal dreams and everything so on. However, last year in 2024, I managed to meet ex-bassist and ex-drummer Jay and Moose, who are now members in the band Kill the Lights. Speaking to them after their show, I really enjoyed speaking to them. It was really, really amazing to, meet and look up to these like childhood heroes. And just in a little conversation, some things were brought up about the guys being kicked out, and I remember I'd looked into this long ago and I couldn't find anything. So I went home that night after that show and thought to myself, what actually happened? Now, there's no real information about how Jay was booted from the Bullet lineup. However, meeting him in person, he was a really, really nice lad, and there are interviews out there where he kind of dances around the subject a little bit. But from what I've seen in other interviews and other articles, and just from people that have met the band members, Matt Tuck seems to have always had this air of superiority over him, and from what Trivium have said in this article, what he says goes. In terms of Moose, the ex-drummer, he was booted from the band after a hiatus after having time away for his family, but I personally don't like it when bands or people fire or replace people in a job or a company for no real good reason. And from what I've seen in interviews and what I've seen about meeting these people in real life, there wasn't any real good reason. It was just kind of done. It just happened. Now, I don't want to cast any dispersions on Matt Tuck himself. I don't know him personally, and I don't know anything that goes on in his life or his surroundings, but with a situation like this coming up and a lot of people with eyes on you right now, I just feel like you should say something. Hopefully we'll hear more about this story in the upcoming days, but until now, that's everything so far. So yeah, cheers.